Well, hello there. My name is Beth Gaff, and I'm the systems manager here at the Peabody Public Library. And I did try to go live with this yesterday. However, it was just not cooperating. So I decided to go ahead and make a video showing us how to get into CS First and getting into that coding that we did yesterday for class. Alrighty, so we start out by getting online. So however you need to do that. I know Google Chrome will get us there, as well as Microsoft Edge. So however you need to get online, and we're going to go to Google. And here in our Google search, we're going to type in CS space first. CS stands for Computer Science, or Computer Starts First. We are Grow with Google Partners, which gives us these great lessons and units that we can explore with while coding. So we're going to go to that first link that says CS First, Teach Computer Science. And we should all be on a screen that looks like this. Now, our class yesterday, we were able to get an account and get going so you could save your projects. However, today I'm going to make this one an hour of code. So up here we have a lot of different options. We're going to go to the one that says hour of code. So now we should be on a screen like this, and we're going to go down to a little bit more than halfway under lessons. And we're going to go to build a superhero. So now we're going to click on that. And now we should all be on this build a superhero page. You may click start here, or you can click start down here. Now if we had an account, we would be able to sign in at this point, but we don't. So we're going to continue without signing in. I'm going to show you this video, so you aren't going to need to do that. But with the other classes, and as we go on with our coding series that I'm going to be starting with us here, this is an introductory to a coding series. So we're just going to do an hour of code today. And with this, normally they give us videos to follow along with. However, today, these don't do that, and I'm going to be showing you a lot of it. There are some cheats, and I'll show you that too. But let's get started on our hour of code of Build a Superhero.
Welcome. I'm Kumar, a computer scientist and program manager at Google. I'm originally from the Virgin Islands, and now I teach students all around the world how to program. I'm excited to share this activity about coding a hero story or game. By coding everyday heroes that make a difference in your world, you can turn them into superheroes. First, here's a quick introduction to learning computer science through CS First. With computer science, you can create anything you can imagine, like stories, art, animation, music, websites, and more. Computer science uses code to make projects called programs. Code is another way of saying instructions for the computer. There are a lot of ways to write code, but today you use a programming language called Scratch. In this activity, you will choose an everyday hero from your own life. Then you'll build a project using code that shows your hero as a superhero. Everyday heroes can be patient and kind, like a teacher who explains things to you in a supportive way until you understand it. Or caring, like a grandparent that watches over you when you are sick. Or supportive, like a seeing eye dog that helps a blind person cross the street. Or encouraging, like a coach that believes you can do anything if you work hard.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to want to do is get rid of this annoying box in the middle of our screen. So we're going to come here where it says Start Lesson, and we're going to click Start Lesson. We're going to click on this green arrow. We're going to skip the video, And then we're going to take this arrow and we're going to toggle it down. Now, I mentioned earlier, you may also have across your screen right now, and at the some kind of banner, and at the end it says, okay, got it. Go ahead and just push okay, got it if you have that. I don't have that, so I don't need to push it. This annoying box that we just got done putting down in the, that we trade down here at the bottom can be moved, just so you're aware of that. And it also gives us some helpful hints of things that we can do. Let me get through some of this. There we go. And that's just kind of a guide for me. You don't necessarily need to do that because I'm going to do a lot of this with you. So let's go over the interface of Scratch, which just means that this is the way that Scratch is set up. Over here on our right, computer left, but our right, is called the stage. The stage is where we're actually going to see these animations coming to life. So when we pull these codes out from the other side into our coding area and we ask it to do things, this is where we're going to actually see it come to life. Down below, we have what are called sprites. Characters, according to Scratch, are called sprites. This is a project that's already pre-ready to go, so we don't have to go in and do a whole lot as far as the setup of this. But if we needed more sprites, we could come down to our choose a sprite, and we would be able to go in and look for other sprites. So right now we have 3 sprites. We have our main character, we have the buildings, and there is a star. In the center is our coding area. So this is where I'm going to drag out these blocks and put them inside of here. On the left-hand side, I have my categories. My categories are shown to me by different colors. So when I say we're going to go to the motion tab or the motion category, all of the motion blocks are blue. They're going to be affiliated with that same color. So if we go to looks, they're going to be that color, and so on. Most of the ones we're going to be using today are motion, looks, events, and control. Those will be the 4 primary categories. We also have tabs up here. Now, that's our first step this morning, or today rather, is to choose our superhero. So next to our code tab, we have what is called a costumes tab. Now the costumes tab, we could spend an hour just sitting here playing around with our superhero, but we don't really have that kind of time today. We need to get through this. However, if you do want to design your superhero a little bit better, you can just pause this video and come back when you're ready to start coding. On the left-hand side, you have a ton of different options for a superhero. So right now, we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to choose our superhero that represents us. So I am going to choose the pig. All right. Once I've chosen the character that I want, and I realize this could be a tough decision, there's a lot of them, I'm going to go back to my coding tab, and now I'm ready to actually start coding something. So if you need more time right now to go in and look for your superhero, go ahead and pause the video and just come back to me when you have your superhero. All right, well, now that we have our superhero, we're going to do some very, very simple stuff. I'm just going to kind of go with my hints. And we're going to start some simple conversation. So we're going to start by having our superhero say things. So we're going to use some say blocks. So under our looks menu on the left-hand side, we're going to drag out the very first block that says say hello for 2 seconds. And we're just going to drag that right out to the center. Now, if I push on the word say, I can see that my superhero is saying the word hello. That's because that's the word that's in there. We can actually come in here, click once, which highlights it in blue. If you accidentally click it more than once, not a problem. Just click your backspace and get all those letters out of there. And now you can type in there what you would like for your superhero to say. So I am going to type in Here I come to save the day. That's what I'm going to type. But you can type whatever you'd like. And now I'm going to click on the word say again, and it's going to display what I've asked it to do. I've asked it to say this, and I've asked it to do it for 2 seconds. I can tinker with this value, and I can make it longer. This just means how long it's going to display the words. So right now it's going to display them for 3 seconds. I'm going to change mine to 5 seconds, and it'll just keep it on my stage longer. So that's how we are running that stacked code. So that is our first say block. Let's go ahead and add in another one. So we're going to drag out another say hello for 2 seconds. And we're going to type in something different this time. I'm going to type in watch me fly. And then I'm going to connect these two. So now I have 2 say blocks. I can click on my very first one, and it's going to run my code. It's going to display my first one for 5 seconds and my second one for 2. And then it goes away. So go ahead and mess with your values, tinker with all of that. Sorry, trying to get us. Okay. So we can mess with those values. Now we're going to go under the events menu, which is the 4th one down, and drag out when flag clicked, and we're going to attach that. What that is saying is when I click my flag, which is up here in my corner, I want this to run. So I no longer have to click on my stack. I can just click my flag. Perfect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, and I'm just going to kind of drag this up like that, we're going to make our superhero like a video game. So we're going to program it to use our arrow keys. Underneath my stage, I have what are called my XY values. My X value goes from left to right, and my Y value goes up and down. So these numbers in here represent that spot. If I pick up my character and I move him, now my numbers have changed. If I pick him up and move him here, now my numbers have changed again, because these numbers signify that spot. So our numbers will never be the same throughout the class, just so you know. So don't try to match your numbers to mine. You just keep doing what you're doing. So we're going to try to get our up and down and our left and right arrows working. Okay. We're going to start with our Y block. So under motion, we're going to drag out the block that says, I believe it says change Y by 10. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, the 12th block down. And under our events, we're going to drag out the block that says when space key pressed. It's our second one down. Now, I can click on that, and I want this to be my up arrow. So now if I click my up arrow, it's going to go up. How do I get it down, you ask? Well, if a positive value took me up, then I need a negative value to bring me down. So under my motion, I'm going to drag out that same change Y by 10 block, except this time I'm going to make it a -10 instead. Under my events, I'm dragging out that same block when space key pressed, and this time it's going to be my down arrow. So now I have my up and my down arrow working. If you don't have it working, look at my blocks compared to your blocks. Do they look the same? Make sure you're changing your value from on my positive without a minus in it, it needs to go up. And with my minus in it, it needs to come down. But now I need to go left to right. So under motion, I'm going to drag out the block that says change X by 10 because I know my X value is back and forth. Under my events, that same when space key pressed, except this time I am making it a right arrow. So now I can go right, I can go up, and I can go down. But if I go too far right, I need to get back. So how would I get back? You got it. We need to get a negative value. So under motion, we're dragging out that same change X by block, and we're making that a minus 10 instead. Under events, we're grabbing that when space key pressed, and this time it's my left arrow. So now I should have all 4 of my keys working. If you need to pause this video to get yourself going, you may very well do that. You can also tinker with these values, but keep in mind that if you change one, you'll have to change the other. And then you can come back to the class and pick up where you were. So these are our little helpful hints that are down here. We are now going to we're going to go out on a whim here, and we are going to actually go ahead and try to get our character or our sprite moving. Actually, let's do that with our buildings. So let's go ahead and click on our second sprite. We should now be on a clean slate. It shows me up here in the corner what I'm working with, and it's also highlighted in blue, so I know I'm working with that. We're going to make this guy glide. We're going to have it go, and we're also going to have it change costumes as it does that. So under my looks menu, we're going to go down to 4, 5, the 6th block that says next costume, and we're going to drag that out. If I click this, I can see that my buildings will change. And that's because under my costumes tab, I have a lot of different buildings in here that they've already put in for me. So by saying going next costume, it's talking about going to the next costume. But I want to make this one glide. So I am going to pick this little guy up, and I'm going to set it as far off, as far off to the right as I can. And I do have to do that in baby steps, because if you do it too big, then it doesn't want to work right, and it'll put it back where it was. And so just kind of baby step it over there. And now I can see my XY value. So under motion, I'm dragging out the block that says go to XY. It is the 3rd, 4th, 5th one down. These numbers inside of my go to XY block should match my numbers that are underneath my stage. That is saying that is this spot. Okay. So now I want it to go to the other end though. See what I mean about not doing it too fast? So I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to move it as far over to the other end as I can get it. And now I need to go drag out another go to XY block. And these numbers should now match these numbers, which is that spot. Go ahead and connect them and push it. Does anything happen? It does, but it happens so fast we can't see it. So we're going to need to split this up. And under our control, let's go ahead and grab out a weight block, put it underneath and attach the other one. So this is my start. I want you to wait, and then my finish, changing this to a higher number. So that is just making it go back and forth. It's waiting 5 seconds, and then it'll go to the end. I'm going to change it back to a 1 because a lot of this is just tinkering. I'm going to throw in my next costume, and I'm going to do that in between my weight block. But again, it happens so fast. So let's try this instead. Let's go ahead and keep this next costume block. And let's use some glide blocks instead. So let's get rid of all that. And again, I'm already off to the side where I want to start. So under my motion, I am going to grab the glide 1 second to XY. And again, these numbers should match these numbers. And then I'm going to attach my next costume. And then I'm going to pick it up and put it all the way to the edge. And I'm going to grab another glide 1 second. Clicking on my stack. But it's going back and forth. So let's try that one more time. Actually, I want my next costume block. Okay. Let's actually have it start on this end. So glide, pick it up and move it slowly. Another glide. Now it's going back and forth. Okay, let's get rid of that. Because we just want it to glide one way. And then we want it to change. But we want it to keep going. So under our control, we're going to drag out a repeat block. And we're going to put that around it. So now if I click on my repeat, but it isn't gliding. So let's try, this is all trial and error. Let's try a weight block in there. Nope. Okay, so we are going to need a glide block. I was trying to do it without a glide block, but it looks like we're going to need it. So I'm going to set myself back in this position. I want that to be start. And it's going back and forth. And it's doing that 10 times. Okay. So as you can see, we can kind of get it going back and forth, changing the costumes. What I'd really like for it to do is just go one way, though. I don't want it going back and forth. Yeah, we already did that. Okay. So it did go through on my code. It did go back and forth. I really don't want it doing that though. I just want it repeating going there, but that's okay. So now we've got our arrow keys going. Now, one thing we can do is under our buildings, we can go ahead and add a flag to the top of that. So now if I push my flag, it's going to run anything that has a flag affiliated with it. And I need to figure out this code because it's not right. We can stop that code. So let's see, under motion. Start. And sorry, I'm trying to figure out a few things here. Move flag. Well, that's what I want, but it's going so fast. Let's do a 5. So, costume block. It goes super fast then. So a lot of this coding with Scratch is just playing around with your values. All right, let's get our, okay. So one thing we can do under looks is go in and drag out the block that says clear graphic effect, and we should be able to push that and it bring back our stuff. Nothing I'm doing is working today. Let's go back and, oh, okay, I see it. There's our block. So I just want it to go left to right, so I don't need an XY value. Let's do this again. Under motion, I just want it to okay, I want to get our superhero to spin. So under our motion, and we're just going to keep all of this code the way that it is, we're going to drag out the second block that says turn right 15 degrees. If I click on this block, I can see that my person is actually going round and round and round and round and round and round and round. But I have to make sure that I am clicking it in order to make it do that. Under our control, I want it just to continuously do that. I'm going to drag out a forever block and I'm going to wrap that around. Now if I click on the word forever, it's going to spin forever. So until I push this stop sign, it's just going to keep spinning. So under my events, I can drag out a when flag clicked. So now if I push on that and I have my arrow keys going, and I'm spinning forever. So you could do this with the right or the left. So we had a right or a left turn. So you could do that with either one of those. Okay, let me go in and see. I don't want to take a survey. Add a sound effect. Okay. We're going to try to add some sound now. So under our sounds tab, down here at the bottom, we can click on choose a sound. Now you'll want to click on the purple to hear the sounds, and then you click the block to actually apply the sounds. Okay. So now we have a sound. So under code, we can go to sound, and we're going to drag out the block that says play sound, whatever one you chose. Now, if there's more than one, you can click on the arrow and then go down and choose on the one. And it's going to play it until done. So I can actually go into my events, put a flag on that. I can use my arrows. I can also have it do a repeat on that. So I can grab a repeat block, drag it around my sound block. I'm going to make this a 4 so it doesn't play forever. I'm going to hit stop. And of course I can use my arrow keys still. Perfect. All right, let's go back to our buildings. We're going to start over with all this. I do apologize. I'm a little rusty on the buildings for some reason, but we're going to make them glide. I'm going to stop my code. I'm going to get my character back. Now, I can go in and under looks, under motion, I can click on point and direction, and it's going to reset. And you could drag that out and put it right here so you just have it. We're not going to attach it to anything, but point and direction will fix my guy here. So I'm going to pick up my building. I'm going to put it at a starting point. This is my start. I'm going to get rid of this. Maybe. And from here, I want to glide. So it's going to start here. I want it to end here. Clicking on that. So now it's going back and forth. I'm going to go to my events, control, and I'm going to put a repeat block around this. I'm going to throw a flag on the top under my events. But I want my costume in there. So I need next costume. Hit stop. Now I can try to dodge my buildings here. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to go to our star. Right now our star is hidden and we can't see it. So we're going to drag, under looks, we're going to go down and drag out the show. If I click that, it'll now show my star. I can also drag out the hide, and that'll hide my star. Right now it's just hidden, so you could show it. And we may want this to move a little bit. They do have... I was looking to see. All right, so if I grab this, there's my start point. And I'm dragging out that glide block like we've done already. These numbers should match these numbers. And now I'm going to have it fall to here. Again, dragging out that glide block. And then I'm going to have it go to here. Down to here. And I'm going to throw a forever around it. So we're just kind of playing around right now. And we're going to put a flag on top. So now you want to kind of dodge everything. So you can see how we could make a very simple video game out of this. And we've got a lot of things going on. We've got words and buildings and stars and all kinds of stuff. Could also change our character at any point. Very good. All right. Well, I'm going to stop us on that. We have some code on all three of these. If you'd like to venture out and look at some of these other categories on the left-hand side to get yourself going on some different things, that would be great. This was just an introductory class to get us started on what is to come. We just kind of fiddled around. Future going forward, when we have a class, I will make sure that I get you that information to get you in, and we'll watch videos together and so forth. This was just an hour of code, means we can't save any of this. It's just getting us introduced to all of the blocks that are available to us and what they all do. So thanks so much for joining me on our introductory coding CS First class through Google. Please be looking for our coding series that will be coming up here. More than likely, it'll be coming up during our summer hours and our summer reading program. And I'm hoping to have a really awesome, different kind of coding that we could do all the time. And I'd love to see your projects. So send them my way, and I would love to take a look at them. Hey, thanks so much, you guys. I'll see you in the next coding class.